Yo! Welcome back to another edition of the Cruising Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Cruz, and today is Sunday, July 31st. I forgot when I started this podcast. I think it was like the 30th of July. Should have did this podcast yesterday, but whatever. So, this is 3 years since Andrew Cruz started the Cruising Podcast. 3 motherfucking years. Oh my goodness. I can remember, but first, where you can find the Cruising Podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, and anywhere else you can find your podcast needs. That's where you can find the Cruising Podcast. Also, you can find latest updates of the show is on Instagram at Cruising Podcast. It's on Twitter at Nicetown Finest. Hold on, let me fix my glasses real quick. But as I'm doing that, where where has the time gone, yo? Like I think I'm well over 200 episodes. If you guys go to the old you know what? This year what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring all my older episodes back to the regular podcast and stuff like that. I might try to clean up the audio a little bit or something like that, but yeah, it has been 3 years. Do you understand that this podcast has been in my mind for at least 5 of them? 5 years, man. Like, I wanted to really do this. I wish I did it when before there was a boom and there was over 1,000,000 podcasts and stuff like that. But, Andrew Cruz is a procrastinator and also scared shitless. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna wait to do the podcast. Well, could have been on the train a lot earlier. I've been wanting to, man, I wanted to do this so bad before, but 3 years, man. 3 years of giving you motherfuckers fire. And guess what? Train's not stopping, baby. We ain't getting to the station. This ain't the station. What? This is just another year, baby. Yo, year 5 is gonna be big. It's gonna be bonkers. I don't know how, but it's gonna be bonkers because the podcast is gonna be bigger than ever. Year 5, I promise that shit. It's gonna be bigger and better year 3. This is year 3, baby. I hope you guys are enjoying every part of this podcast. I hope you guys are continuously enjoying some of the fire shit I've been giving y'all. And it's gonna still be more and more fire shit coming. You know what I'm saying? It's just what we do. I just do fire, like that's what I like to do, man. I just like to do the fire. I like to make you guys look at it and be like, damn, man, this guy is a fucking inferno. And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm an inferno because I am the shit. All right, so I am gonna mix in Bleach my Bleach rewatch with this podcast with this episode. Um the way I wanted to do this podcast, so we can just a little bit of a recap. I mean, a review of why I started this bad boy. I wanted to be one of the first black podcasters to talk about anime and things like that and like nerdy things like that. And I love, like, if anyone knows me, like, speaking of, I'm wearing a Batman t-shirt. I think this is the introduction of Robin, if I remember correctly. I think this t-shirt is actually, this is a Batman comic book cover. That's my favorite superhero. And my favorite anime of all time is Bleach. So I really just I was going. I know it's I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast, but I was going to call this Comic Cast. This was going to be called Comic Cast until I found out that two of my favorite people, two of my favorite podcasters who I've met in person for the first time 2 weeks ago, Michael Carroll and Jung Lee, they both started a podcast called Comic Cast. Like, and I was like, shit, man, they beat me to the punch. So I was like, all right, man, I'm just gonna put my name on it. Why? But if I'm not gonna be able to call it that, I'm gonna put my name on this motherfucker. I'm gonna put everything on the table. This is my name. This is the Cruising Podcast. There's no one. I have no producer. It's just me. I have. I. This is the only way. The biggest way I can get the podcast out is by word of mouth. And I appreciate everyone that has been listening. I appreciate everyone that's been watching. But you guys are lovely, man. I love all of you. This is the start, man. Like 3 years, it's just starting. Some podcasts been out here for like 10, 15 years. So I'm just starting this bad boy. I just really I liked it because there was a freedom. I'm not gonna say it's the Wild West, but I can curse on here. I can talk shit. And I really do believe like this was, a new frontier, and it deservingly so. Like podcasting should be this way. You know, I should be able to teach, young young black people, black Americans, and also, any other races that want to learn it. Not racist, racists. Hopefully, I said that right. Also, teach about some of our culture. Like, not all of us want to be gang members and rappers and basketball players and anything like that. Some of us are actual fucking nerds, and um, I'm actually going to talk about some some. I wouldn't say nerds. I would say actually creatives. These people are like, I know it sounds weird. I know it's going to be kind of weird for everyone, but I had a fraternity brother who draws comic book things. He does all these comic book drawings, and I watch his streams on Twitch. I think he stopped doing them. I don't know what happened, but I used to watch his streams on Twitch, and it's the most therapeutic to watch somebody do what they're so great at, make it look so clean, make it just the hard work. No, I can't do it. These hands are meant to destroy shit. You know what I'm saying? I destroy things with these hands. Like if you told me, "Hey, Andrew, I need you to break that fucking brick wall. Give me a sledgehammer, and I'll break the motherfucker." That's what I'm supposed to do. And what I love is that, I can watch it and I'm just like, this is my therapy session. Also, like a podcast can be your therapy session. Like I don't need a therapist. I can just yell at you, yell through the mic, talk my shit, and do what needs to be done. But I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm happy that most people have stuck with the podcast for the past 3 years. My Canadian following. I think, like I told you guys, man, that, like through the podcast, I feel like I figured out that I'm secretly Canadian. My mom hasn't told me, my dad won't tell me anything. I feel like nobody's trying to tell me like secretly Andrew's Canadian. I'm Wolverine. Like I'm Canadian, but everybody thought I was American. But I don't know. I connect more with Canadian humor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I watched Trailer Park Boys, Letterkenny, great shows. Shorzy, fantastic show. But 3 years, I just was like, oh, I didn't know I like Canadian television this much. Maybe I am Canadian. I just can't speak French. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? We can't get taken over. Also, I started listening to a Canadian podcast. And these guys are pretty cool. It's a conspiracy shit, but it's just the way. That's what we do. That's how us Canadians do. I mean, us Americans do it. We like to listen to weird shit sometimes. Um, yeah, so I just want to say, man, I love everybody that's been listening and stuck with the podcast for 3 years, and anybody that's a new listener that's just starting out, baby. You know what I mean? Just listening to the podcast. Yo, listen, there's over 200. There has to be over 200 episodes right now. I don't know. I gotta figure it out because most of my stuff is on Mixcloud, like where I started the podcast. It's on. Yo, what's up, Gil? What's up, Gilbert? But where I started the podcast is on Mixcloud. So that's where. Okay, so it's a little weird, but I gotta find some of my old episodes. But I'm pretty sure I'm over 200 episodes. Now, can I count? Math wasn't my subject. My subject was was history. All right, everybody needs to know this. That was my subject. Subject is history. I can teach Black history. I can teach a little bit about Civil War and what goes on, things like that. But that's all I can do. All right. But math, is simple math. I used to teach. I taught it to elementary school kids, and then it just left. All the teachings is left. But I'm over here, and I'm just like, I know I got to be over at least 200 though. But 3 years of straight podcasting, of straight. I know some days I miss. I might miss a month, maybe a week or two here, maybe even a month. But 3 years of podcasting is a long time to stick with something that some people might consider would look at it like this is a failure. Your mom's a failure. How about that? You're a failure. No, I'm playing. No, I love you guys, man. I know. Hey, man, I appreciate it. If you've been listening for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 2 weeks, one day, I don't care. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time out. You don't have to take your time out and listen to this. Listen to somebody just jibber jab around. I appreciate it, man. I really do. It's a really big appreciation from from the bottom of my heart. I'm like dead ass serious. I appreciate that, like you took your time out, your precious time. Time is precious. You can't get time back. That you took time out to sit here and say, I'm gonna listen to this guy because he's fucking cool. Nah, well, he's got pretty good. He's got some good ideas. I might got some better ones, but okay, cool. Have some better ideas, baby. It's cool. It's cool. All right. Where I want to also start off by saying rest in peace to Bill Russell, one of the greatest NBA players of all time. I think he's won what he won 11 NBA titles with the Boston Celtics. Um, been around for a very long time. Even like till this, before he passed away, he was around basketball. Kids seen Bill Russell, they seen old Bill Russell. But if you look at all the clips and everything like that, man, rest in peace to a pioneer. He was like he was the first black coach in the NBA, and he played, and he was a player. He's the first, I think he was the first player coach, and then he was the first black coach. So rest in peace to Bill Russell, man. They named the NBA Finals trophy after him. I don't think he even won an NBA Finals MVP, NBA Finals MVP after him. I'm sorry, that's what it was. NBA Finals MVP is the Bill Russell Award. In his career, Bill Russell never won the Finals MVP because there wasn't one. And if it was one, it would probably be 11 of the Mad Boys. He probably would have to make his own section, his own like little cabinet just for NBA Finals MVP. That's how great Bill Russell was at the time. Now there might be some discussions, but that's a later date, man. It's too raw right now. As an NBA fan, as a basketball fan, there's one thing I know. I've always been, an aficionado in the old school. I mean, I used to watch Sports Century all the time. I have Sports Century books reading about the Boston Celtics. As much as I hate the Boston Celtics, I respect him, Bob Cousy, you know what I'm saying, John Havlicek, all of them, man. I like, you gotta just respect greatness, just like, I might not like LeBron, but I respect that he's one of the greatest of all time. There's a respect there. He's one of the greatest. What is going on here? Changes may be made. What the fuck is going on?